Amazon rainforest covers an area of 7 million square kilometers and is the biggest rainforest on Earth, extending to more than 9 nations. Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Venezuela, Ecuador, Bolivia, Guyana, Suriname and French Guiana. Around 60% of the Amazon woods lie in Brazil, and the other 40% has a place with nations previously referenced. The Amazon rainforest has an incredibly high biodiversity, and numerous species have not yet been depicted. Assessments of the quantity of plant and creature species fluctuate broadly. As per a new distribution by the World Untamed Life Asset, WWF, the Amazon rainforest contains around 40,000 plant species, 427 well-evolved creature species, 1294 bird species, 378 types of reptiles, 427 types of creatures of land and water, and 3,000 types of fish. These are the least figures, as new species are consistently being found. The Amazon rainforest is described by elevated degrees of precipitation. Thus, the scene is green consistently. The Amazon rainforest can be partitioned into various vegetation types. The biggest part comprises land firme backwoods or dry land. This sort of Amazonian timberland that isn't yet upset by people is overwhelmed by trees, which can develop as high as 50 m. And as a result of the absence of light, the vegetation of the woodland floor is open and open. Other than land firme, the Amazonian district has two kinds of backwoods that are occasionally immersed: the Igapo woodland and the Várzea timberland. The Igapo woods comprise plant species developing along the dark water streams that have high groupings of humic corrosive, which decide a particular sort of vegetation around it. The Várzea woods develop along the white water streams that convey fruitful residue from the volcanic Andes Mountains, and has the most noteworthy convergence of species variety of Amazonia. Deforestation is the main danger to the Amazon rainforest. The greater part of the deforestation happens unlawfully, and the Brazilian government has enormous troubles in executing the condition of regulation in the Amazon Bowl on account of the huge distances to be covered. The challenges in safeguarding the Amazon rainforest from deforestation cause an irreversible loss of significant compound and organic data, which is major for the information on this wild patrimony, and consequently for its protection and manageable use. For instance, the substantial variety of plant types in this district is a strong wellspring of natural mixtures helpful in growing new medications. Under the ocean, did you have any idea that there are in excess of 1 million different living species in the sea? Furthermore, researchers figure there might try and be millions of additional that they haven't found at this point. An animal type is a gathering of living creatures, like jellyfish or whales. In the sea, the biggest creature on the planet, the blue whale, lives close by minuscule zooplankton, which is really comprised of numerous creatures so little you can't see them without a magnifying lens. To make it more straightforward to find out about countless various types of sea creatures, researchers have separated them into classifications: sharks and beams. There are more than 450 types of sharks in the sea, and they range in size from 8 crawls to 40 feet in length. Sharks have been around since before dinosaur times, and they are at the head of the sea well-established pecking order. The incredible white shark is known as the riskiest to people. Extraordinary white sharks have sharp teeth, are around 12 feet in length, and can weigh 3,000 pounds. Beams, for example, stingrays and manta beams, are connected with sharks. They have huge, three-sided wings that move them through the water, and are probably the biggest creatures in the sea. Marine well-evolved creatures. Marine well-evolved creatures incorporate dolphins, whales, polar bears, and ocean otters. A significant number of these creatures are cherished by individuals and known to be exceptionally clever. Dolphins might be prepared to do stunts, for example, flips, tail strolling, and going through arbitrary tasks.
His broken tooth is a war wound from a recent battle and a mark of his bravery. He is the father of all of the cubs and their defender. They are still blind, helpless, and totally reliant on their mother. Sita is a single mother and with no problem.
The biggest marine well-evolved creature, and the biggest known creature on the planet, is the blue whale. A grown-up blue whale is generally up to a ball court and weighs however much around 2,700 people put. Remote ocean fish will be fish that live in the murkiness underneath the sunlit surface waters, that is beneath the epipelagic or photic zone of the ocean. The lanternfish is, by a long shot, the most widely recognized remote ocean fish. Other remote ocean fishes incorporate the spotlight fish, cookie cutter shark, bristlemouths, anglerfish, viperfish, and a few types of eelpout. Just around 2% of realized marine species occupy the pelagic climate. This implies that they live in the water section rather than the benthic organic entities that live in or on the ocean floor. Remote ocean creatures by and large occupy bathopelagic, 10004000 mobile profound, and abyssopelagic, 40006000 mobile profound, zones. Notwithstanding, attributes of remote ocean organic entities, for example, bioluminescence should be visible in the mesopelagic, 200100 mobile profound, zone also. The mesopelagic zone is the dysphotic zone. It is insignificant yet quantifiable to mean light there. The oxygen least layer exists somewhere close to a profundity of 700 m and 1000 m profound, relying upon the spot in the sea. This region is likewise where supplements are generally plentiful. The bathopelagic and abyssopelagic zones are aphotic, implying that no light enters this region of the sea. These zones make up around 75% of the inhabitable sea space. The epipelagic zone, 0200 m, is the region where light enters the water and photosynthesis happens. This is otherwise called the photic zone, since this ordinarily broadens 200 or 300 meters beneath the water. The remote ocean, around 90% of the sea volume, is in murkiness. The remote ocean is likewise an incredibly unfriendly climate, with temperatures that seldom surpass 3 degrees Celsius 37 degrees Fahrenheit and fall as low as minus 1.8 degrees Celsius 29 degrees Fahrenheit, except for aqueous vent biological systems that can surpass 350 degrees Celsius or 662 degrees Fahrenheit, low oxygen levels, and tensions somewhere in the range of 20 and 1000 atm, somewhere in the range of 2 and 100 MPa. As a fish moves further into the ocean, the heaviness of the water above applies to press the fish. This expanded strain adds up to around 1 atm for each 10 m top to bottom. For a fish at the lower part of the bathopelagic zone, this strain adds up to around 400 atm, almost 6,000 pounds for every square inch. Remote ocean creatures have variations at the cell and physiological levels that permit them to make do in conditions of extraordinary tension. Not having these transformations restricts the profundities at which shallow water species can work. Elevated degrees of outer tension influences how metabolic cycles and biochemical responses continue. The harmony cell layers favor phospholipid bilayers with a higher extent of unsaturated fats, which prompts a higher ease than their ocean-level partners. The rat-tail Coryphenoidus armatus, deep grenadier, on the Davidson Seamount at 2,253 m profundity. Remote ocean species show lower changes of entropy and enthalpy contrasted with superficial creatures, since a high strain and low temperature climate favors negative enthalpy changes and diminished reliance on entropy-driven responses. From a primary stance, globular proteins of remote ocean fish, because of the tertiary construction of geactin, are somewhat inflexible contrasted with those of superficial fish. The way that proteins in remote ocean fish are fundamentally not the same as surface fish is clear from the perception that actin from the muscle strands of remote ocean fish is very heat-safe, a perception like what is tracked down in reptiles. These proteins are primarily fortified by adjustment of the bonds in the tertiary construction of the protein, which likewise ends up prompting elevated degrees of warm security. Proteins are basically reinforced to oppose strain by adjustment of bonds in the tertiary design. Along these lines, elevated degrees of hydrostatic tension, like high internal heat levels of thermophilic desert reptiles, favor unbending protein structures. Na+/K+. ATPase is a lipoprotein compound that assumes an unmistakable part in osmoregulation and is vigorously impacted by hydrostatic strain. The hindrance of Na+/K+. ATPase is because of expanded pressure because of tension. The rate-restricting step of the Na+/K+. ATPase response actuates an extension in the bilayer encompassing the protein, and hence an expansion in volume. An expansion in volume makes Na+/K+. ATPase reactivity powerless to higher tensions. Despite the fact that the Na+/K+, ATPase action per gram of gill tissue is lower for remote ocean fishes, the Na+/K+, ATPases of remote ocean fishes display a lot higher resistance to hydrostatic tension contrasted with their shallow water partners. This is exemplified between the species C. acrolepis, around 2,000 m profound, and its hadopelagic partner C. armatus, around 4,000 m profound, where the Na+.
Untamed life undermines human security, well-being, property, and personal satisfaction. Be that as it may, numerous wild creatures, even the perilous ones, have worth to individuals. This worth may be wild felines, canines, mice, and rodents. A few religions proclaim specific creatures to be hallowed, and in current times, worry for the regular habitat has incited activists to challenge the double dealing of natural life for human advantage or diversion. Worldwide natural life populace has been attempting to save this significant spot.
Amazon is one of Earth's last asylums for pumas, shrew falcons, and pink waterway dolphins, and it is home to sloths, dark insect monkeys, and toxic substance dart frogs. It contains 1 out of 10 known species on the planet, 40,000 plant species, 3,000 freshwater fish species, and in excess of 370 kinds of reptiles. More than 2,000 new types of plants and vertebrates, including a monkey that murmurs like a feline, have been depicted beginning around 1999. This huge area, around 66% the size of the US, ranges from 8 nations: Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and the broad region of French Guiana. Covering around 40% of South America, the Amazon contains 1.4 billion sections of land of thick backwoods, a big part of the planet's leftover tropical woodlands, 4,100 miles of winding streams, and 2.6 million square miles in the Amazon Bowl. In excess of 30 million individuals, including 350 native and ethnic gatherings, live in the Amazon and rely upon nature for agribusiness, clothing, and customary medications. There is likewise a reasonable connection between the soundness of the Amazon and the strength of the planet. The tropical jungles, which contain 90 billion to 140 billion metric lots of carbon, assist with balancing out nearby and worldwide environments. The Amazon likewise siphons around 7 trillion tons of water each year into the climate, and its timberlands reuse half 75% of yearly precipitation back into the air. The Amazon faces numerous dangers, including deforestation from broad cow farming and agrarian extension, foolish foundation, unlawful and impractical normal asset extraction, and environmental change. WWF has been attempting to secure and save Amazon for more than 40 years. WWF attempts to stand up to the drivers of deforestation, similar to soy cultivating, cow farming, hydropower, unlawful and impractical logging, and foundation. WWF and our accomplices sent off a methodology called Task Money for Lastingness in Brazil to safeguard 150 million sections of land of the Brazilian Amazon. We joined public and confidential elements to raise $215 million to make, solidify, and keep an organization of 114 safeguarded regions. The organization, called the Amazon Locale Safeguarded Regions Program, is just multiple times bigger than all U.S. public parks consolidated. Presently, WWF is trying the very approach for the safeguarded region frameworks in a few different nations that are significant for preservation, including Peru, Bhutan, and Colombia. Environmental change takes steps to upset the organizations of water and woodlands natural life relies upon. Hotter temperatures and less precipitation have delivered dry spells of memorable extents. The Amazon experienced its most horrendously terrible dry spells of 100 years in 2005 and 2010. Long droughts wilt crops, demolish fisheries, and lead to backwoods fires. This can bring about huge changes in the cosmetics of environments and a deficiency of animal types. WWF assists ranchers with safeguarding their harvests from extreme precipitation and dry seasons and guarantee close-by natural life regions can adjust to a hotter world. There are numerous ways you can assist with safeguarding Amazon. You can instruct your loved ones about the significance of the Amazon. You can turn into an insightful client. Ask how your food and different buys have been delivered, and purchase items with the FSC mark. You can lessen your utilization of petroleum derivatives and your effect on the world. You can likewise support the Amazon people groups by sharing their accounts and discussing natural worries. 2.7 million kilometer two, twice the size of India, the Amazon biome is virtually unrivaled in scale, complexity and opportunity, and truly is a region distinguished by superlatives. Not only does the Amazon encompass the single largest remaining tropical rainforest in the world, it also houses at least 10% of the world's known biodiversity, including endemic and endangered flora and fauna, and its river accounts for 15 to 16% of the world's total river discharge into the oceans. The Amazon River flows for more than 6,600 kilometers, and with its hundreds of tributaries and streams contains the largest number of freshwater fish species in the world. Natural and cultural diversity. Equally impressive are the unfathomable numbers of mammals, birds, amphibians, and reptiles found across the biome. The Amazon is home to more than 30 million people living across a vast region subdivided into 9 different national political systems. According to the coordinator of indigenous organizations of the Amazon Basin, COCA, about 9%, 2.7 million, of the Amazon's population is still made up of indigenous people, 350 different ethnic groups, more than 60 of which still remain largely isolated. And yet, for all of its magnitude and apparent remoteness, the Amazon biome is surprisingly fragile and close to each one of us, jeopardizing a pillar of life on Earth. During the last half-century, the seemingly endless Amazon has lost at least 17% of its forest cover. Its connectivity has been increasingly disrupted, and numerous endemic species have been subjected to waves of resource exploitation. The economic transformation of the Amazon based on the conversion and degradation of its natural habitat is gaining momentum. Yet, as those forces grow in strength, we are also finding that the Amazon plays a critical role in maintaining climate function regionally and globally, a contribution which everyone, rich or poor, depends on. The Amazon's canopy cover helps regulate temperature and humidity, and is intricately linked to regional climate patterns through hydrological cycles that depend on the forests. Given the enormous amount of carbon stored in the forests of the Amazon, there is tremendous potential to alter global climate if not properly stewarded. The Amazon contains 90 to 140 billion metric tons of carbon, the release of even a portion of which would accelerate global warming significantly. Currently, land conversion and deforestation in the Amazon release up to 0.5 billion metric tons of carbon per year, not including emissions from forest fires, thus rendering the Amazon an important factor in regulating global climate. Nepstad et al. 2008. The Amazon biome is defined as the area covered predominantly by dense moist tropical forest, with relatively small inclusions of several other types of vegetation such as savannas, floodplain forests, grasslands, swamps, bamboos, and palm forests. The biome encompasses 6.7 million km2 and is shared by 8 countries: Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana and Suriname, as well as the overseas territory of French Guiana. The complete watersheds expand beyond the biome and sometimes include adjacent biomes, dry forest, cerrado and puna. just green wilderness. So is the Amazon River basin merely a huge, uniform expanse of rainforest, bisected by a massive river? Such a perception of the area merely scratches the surface of what is in reality a highly complex and dynamic environment. The basin actually encompasses a variety of landscapes and ecosystems. These include times rainforests, times floodplain forests, times savannas, times rivers. How the Earth's movements created today's Amazon River basin. Millions of years ago, the Amazon River once flowed from east to west, emptying into the Pacific Ocean. When the Andes Mountains began to rise, due to great pressure on the tectonic plates, along the eastern side of the South American continent about 20 million years ago, this emerging mass blocked the flow of the Amazon River. Freshwater lakes formed as a result, and the flow of the river gradually reversed to its current eastern course. About 10 million years ago, the river reached the Atlantic Ocean, close to the city of Belém in Brazil. The water cycle, a highly efficient natural process. Every year, the Amazon rainforest receives torrential rainfall between 1,500 millimeters and 3,000 mm. Where does all that water come from? Eastern trade winds that blow from the Atlantic Ocean account for about half of the rainfall, with the other half due to evapotranspiration, the loss of water from the soil by evaporation and through transpiration from plants. 10. In the Amazon River Basin. 11. If evapotranspiration and its role in maintaining ecological balance is disrupted, the climate throughout region, and well beyond, will be significantly impacted. The unpredictability of an Amazon downpour. In the Amazon River Basin, rainfall follows a seasonal pattern, and there is a great difference in precipitation from one place to the other, even within the center of the basin. 12. For example, the city of Iquitos in Peru, along the Amazon River, receives an average of 2,623 millimeters of rain per year, while Manaus in Brazil receives 1,771 millimeters and experiences a strong dry season. 13. The Amazon between aspirations and reality. As our knowledge of the Amazon constantly increases, so does our understanding of the major ecological services rainforests offer to the local and global community. While many equate a patch of rainforest with quick rewards, some simply to put food on the table, others see it as a repository of biodiversity, useful chemical compounds, or even carbon stocks for the world's increasing carbon dioxide emissions.